Hello and welcome to cold and windy Lightwood Park for this round 6 matchup in the NPL. Kingborough Lions, the home team, taking on Glenorchy Knights, the away side coming down the southern outlet from KG5. Interesting matchup today. It's two mid-table sides at this point of the season. Kingborough, a couple of letdown losses against the league leaders in Devonport and South Hobart. And Knights off to a pretty rough start in the NPL Tas this season. They're a bit of a side in transition, but haven't had the best run of results, going down 2-0 in the wind last week to Clarence Zebras. Lions, on the other hand, just, again, haven't been able to get over that hump of the final hurdle with South Hobart or Devonport this season. They are pushing for more with the big ins of likes of Eli Wright and Nick O'Connell coming down from South Hobart this season, but they find themselves in third on the table at the moment. So all to play for today. I think a loss for either side will be a bit of a redrawing for either coach. They'll have to really battle to make it back up to touching distance of the league leaders. Kingborough today 9 points in fourth, are only a couple behind South and Devonport, who are leading the way unbeaten this season. They are locked together. Riverside and Zebras also on 9 points this season. So captains come together. I'll run you through the team lineups. We have Kingborough in the black and blue, as is traditional down here, with, again, Nick O'Connell coming down from South Hobart. In goals, Eli Wright, Bagat Beyong, Hugo Schwartz, Joel Badger. Noah Mees will be leading the line with Eli Lutmer, the captain, as you see out there, having a chat with the opposing captain, Riley Dillon. Solomon Tebeje, Rowan Pitt, Joe McShane and Bradley Lakaseljic will round out the 11 for Kingborough. And for Glenorchy, in the white and the red today, Matthew Burkic playing in that fullback position as per usual. Jeremy George, one of the New Zealand imports coming across this season, Andres Lagos Verura, and Riley Dillon, as ever, Stone Cold Riley Dillon, the captain today. Looks like he's lining up front with Anthony Mamich on the wing, Thomas Walpole and Jacob Clothier, Adriano Chegankas, Ezekiel Preble, Khan Hussein and Tom Diven wearing the number 22 unusually. He'll be in the goals for Glenorchy today. As I said, it is a very intriguing match of the round today. My name's Alex Mummery. I'm joining you down here as the sun peeks its head out, much to the delight of the supporters. It's a decent crowd in today. You won't see that on cameras, as most of them are huddled in the warmth of the clubhouse. I've got a few juniors popping in to see the kickoff as we are underway here at Lightwood Park. And O'Connell will go forward all the way up in the Mees direction, who does win the header straight away. As Dillon brings it down for the Knights. He'll try to get it back and will. Then he release Mamich. Characteristic laconic style. Almost cuts it back in towards the middle. And immediately transitioning is Kingborough as that bounce pass doesn't find its target. And Dillon goes through the back of Eli Lutmer. It's getting tangled up, the two captains playing on each other today. It's like a bit of a different role for Dillon this season. Often plays off that left-hand side. Very proficient with his either foot. Playing through the middle today with Khan Hussein and Mamich, the front three. O'Connell will send it forward. Again, looking for Mees to flick it up. And they win the second ball. Burkic does for Glenorchy. Goes back across to George. Spreading across, Walpole in the middle. Apologies, Preble in the middle. As Wright will chuck it back in for the Lions. Big sliding challenge from Vidura. Schwartz wants McShane in front of him. Good press from Hussein. Did get his elbow in the back as referee Alfonso Justi has spotted an infringement. Connell wanting to go quickly again. Lions trying to play very direct early on. And Rowan Pitt not able to track that one down, and both teams really trying to go direct. It's Mamich looking for Dylan. Midfield being bypassed at the moment. Asked for a handball, nothing given. This is Tebeje. Fancy feet. Cuts inside, it finds the bottom corner. Sneaks it near post. And Lions hit the front early. Glenorchy arguing the point. I think potentially Diven was a little bit distracted there. And wanting a foul over on the other side of the park. And Tebeje got a one-on-one and just snuck it underneath Diven. Maybe don't expect a keeper to get beaten in his near post like that. Looked a little bit innocuous from this point, but did have the shielding kind of, maybe it was a little bit unsighted by Walpole at fullback. And Tebeje takes full advantage, and I think Lions looking locked in today. They'll be wanting to add more misery tonight. So have had a rough trot of it recently. A few disappointing results, probably uncharacteristically. As they get underway, goes straight out for a throw. That'll be McShane's ball. I think it is an interesting discussion point, just where Knights are at over the last couple of seasons. Obviously with James Sherman leaving on a high, doing the league and cup double a few seasons ago. Last year was a bit disappointing. Doesn't feel like a bit of a side in transition at the moment. As Clothier runs through and hits it pretty well. And it hits the post. What a strike. Had O'Connell at full stretch. Almost an answer straight back for Knights. And the cross is a little bit heavy on the outlet from Hussein. Banging shot from Jacob Clothier there. It would have been an absolute rip snorter to put them back level. And as much as the Kingborough supporters with the Vuvuzelas, as is typical down here these days, try to get their boys going a little bit. As I said, Knights, if they lose this one, this could be really almost put them in a relegation dogfight. Again, relegation this season, they are ahead of the likes of Lonnie United and teams that haven't got off the mark yet, Ulverston and South East, but they can't sort of separate themselves in the next couple of rounds. You never really know what will happen in this league. So Connor will play it short and link up with Laka Seljuk. Splitting ball doesn't get through to Tebeje. Vidura's ball straight into Beyong. And Kingborough will look to switch through Eli Lutmer. Back to Laka Seljuk, and that's a little bit of a high, challenging ball for Pitt, who does knot it down easily. It's quite breezy down here today. The conditions aren't great for football. The pitch itself is looking immaculate. As Hussein can't touch through there. It's a good overlapping run made by Walpole. Dylan splits the defence with that left foot. Lutmer in good position though. And that's where they want to get Riley Dillon turning either way. Again, playing through the middle this season. Trying to release the likes of Mamich. Mamich dispossessed straight away by Eli Wright. He'll pump it up the line. Vidura will track it down, but can he find a teammate? Chipping ball through is in direction of no one in particular. I don't really know what Clothier was trying to do there. And the teammates wanting to switch out the other side. They did have the release of Preble. notably, Knights also missing Alfie Hess at the moment. I think just a little bit of veteran experience in that midfield would go a long way. Jack Glover as well, who has played a little bit early on this season. But I know he has work commitments, so it doesn't always turn out for them. I'm not sure if that's a long-term thing for them or not this season. It's Beyong. We'll switch it out wide. It's a nice ball for Tebeje again. He's got the double up now. Hussein's tracked back like a Seljuk. Nice splitting pass again. A tricky little touch inside from Tebeje. Finds Mees. He's made a return run. Just miscontrols a little bit, but gets it back and finds himself in a night sandwich. Referee says no foul. Fairly adjudicated there. As Dylan pokes it away, and then more Lions bodies flying onto the ground. Intensity starting to pick up in this one as Lakaseljic screening in front of the defence. Tracks it down nicely. Lions starting to implement a little bit more control over this game. I want to start doing that. Tebeje chips it up the line. Lovely feed again. Back inside. Beyond with heaps of time. He'll switch it across. As Wright poke it in towards me. Beyond with the raking shot. But yeah, Beyond on the rebound there. Looks nice and tidy in the double pivot there with Lakaseljic. Lions have had a reasonably tough start to the year. And I think this is probably the criticism some might have of them. Is just can they get over the line against the likes of Devonport and South Hobart? They got pretty handily dealt with South. It was a pretty close game for most of that game, and South just ran over the top of them in the second half. Devonport, as they typically do with the 1-0 win up at Valley Road. No shame in losing those sorts of games, especially the 1-0 away at Valley Road. But again, I think John Fennick is looking to push towards that top 2 kind of spot. And with a good finish last season in 3rd, can they push on? Still behind City South and Devonport in 4th at the moment. As Mamich tries to release up the line. I think for James Sherman, it is a bit of a recalibration year. We were saying, is this a side in transition? Glenorchy, they've brought in a few international players. George, one of the players who just made the pass back to the keeper there, coming, a very young player from New Zealand. Centre back. Pitt will try to get around Burkic. Comes in again from right, looking for Mees. Dylan's poked through only as far as Eli Lutmer in that characteristically calm fashion. Spreads it to Beyong. As pokes through and does get clipped on the outside. That's Joel Badger there. He got to the ball first. Wanted the free kick and does get it. Interesting sort of range here for Kingborough. Probably a little bit further than you'd like for a shot. I think Eli Lutmer just saying, if I'm going to come up, don't waste the opportunity. Beyong will have a 2-man wall to deal with. Diven just trying to make himself comfortable here. Beyong does chip it up deep. Burkic was there and well left in the end by the Knights left back. Yeah, I think for keen watchers of the NPL this season, it sort of would Sherman sort of bring the band back together again. Again, local sport on some level. But last year, any players who played in that Social 1 league came up against the likes of Nick Mearns and Connor Schmidt and Jack Glover as well. They're all been big misses, I think, over the last season or two. Again, doing the cup double, moving on to other things, and James Sherman experiencing sort of a different environment in Singapore as McShane tries to go down the line. It's nicely done by Chegankas. Chegankas again, he mishandles that one. Up the line by McShane, here's Mees. Driving forward again, Solomon Tebeje. He's got some tricks up his sleeve, looking very lively out there on the left wing. These newer players to Kingborough as well. They are a much changed side this season. Nicely down the line. Pitt again. Badger. Can he cut it inside? Right, kind of sticks his foot out. Might have actually got in the way of that attacking move. Lutmer will try to take the throw quickly. Does get slowed down. Chigankas again, looking to release Hussain. Nice feet from Khan Hussain. Back in, he's got the overlap of Walpole. He's stonewalled by Schwartz. And Lions will release to Beget again. He's got plenty of space. Walpole made a very attacking run. He's got cover from his defensive midfielders. Chigankas and Vidura both covering back. Nice ball through from Beyong. He's looking very neat in this midfield. One-touch football. That's another beautiful pass. And nice recycling from the Lions, who are playing some good stuff. Now they've been getting that on the ground. Good recovery defence from Knights all the same. Kingborough try to get it up the line. Wright will make a nice intervention to win the ball back for Kingborough. Clearance from Eli Lutmo does come. Knights do have the wind in this half just slightly. It's a bit swirling down here at the den. Here comes Dylan. Tries to thread that through pass. Gets it back, spins around. Hits it powerfully, but well over the top. Not threatening Nick O'Connell's goal. So you're just joining us 1-0 to Kingborough with an early goal to Solomon Tebeje. And Knights with almost an instant reply through a great strike from Jacob Clothier from distance. Hit the post and rebounded safely away. It's been a tight contest so far. Lions definitely with the possession as some sliding tackles fly in and Rowan Pitt hits the floor. Beyong with a lovely switch of play. Very neat footballer in the middle there for Kingborough. McShane. Get the switch going for Kingborough. They're happy just to play it around Schwartz. Ball doesn't come through. Dylan with some space. Tries to make a little curling through ball. Love the creativity, but all three Lions defenders, including the keeper, very much alive to that threat. Again, I'm really interested by this role that Riley Dillon's playing this season, through the middle and trying to be a creative force as well as a runner and a dribbler. He does float out wide now. He's made space. Hussain is up there. Tries to take on Lutmo, gets it in. Hussain at the back post! Just finds the side netting. He got up well. Had O'Connell sprawling. And it's a corner, so a little defensive header there from Joe McShane. Lovely ball up from Riley Dillon. Again, let's talk about how he's playing through the middle, but drifted out wide beautifully, and that's his sort of classic play. Cut back on that right foot if he needs, but Play a good ball into the left as well. He'll be taking this corner. And without Jack Glover today, not the tallest Glenorchy side. In swinging ball though, it's a bit deep and skims off the head of Khan Hussein. And no threat for the Lions as they'll get it out quickly and early through Eli Wright. And they're happy just to control things and trusting this Lightwood Park surface. It is beautiful early in the season. With the resurfacing a few years ago. It's one of the better parks that we have down in the south of the state at least. I'm loving this new stand. Again, it's a bit of a battle against the elements today for the players and the supporters too. It's pretty cold and windy down here. At least the sun has come out. I think that'll be difficult to contend with for Nick O'Connell's end. Sun straight in the eyes of the Kingborough Lions keeper. De Jong switches that pass again. This time Chigankas is onto it. He tries to release very quickly. Hussein track it down. Pitt tracking back well. He'll get it back from right. Bit of a muddle of feet over there. Lions do manage to come away with it. McShane has a bit of space and finds Biong. He's been taking up those good positions and just switching the play beautifully. That's a lovely ball. Writes in a paddock over there. Goes through. It does find its way for a Kingborough corner. Anthony Mamich had tracked back. And he's making sure that the forwards do their defensive work as well as their attacking work. It will be a big goal here if Lions can score off the corner. Going to be an outswinger. It's chipped up. Lutmer's in there. Well taken by Diven. He's got those long arms. Releases Dylan straight away. Looks for Walpole, who makes it through pass, but O'Connell, as ever, off his line well. And Tebeshe, I thought it might have saved that one, but the linesman said minusculely found its way over the line. Ball goes forward, and Hussein just pushes his man off the ball. Tries to go around two players. Finds Dylan anyway. Shapes to shoot, just fakes his player off it. Hussein turned back on. Well done by Schwartz to just evade that drop of the shoulder. Badger. And the Lions will get a bit of a reprieve there. Just a few little bounces. Didn't really go their way at that point, and I think Dylan and Hussein had opportunities there. Badger goes down the line and it'll be a Kingborough throw. Badger again tries to go through two Knights players. May have had an argument for a free kick, but no call. Sliding challenge from Vidura wins the ball back for Knights. As we go away, Knights not able to transition into any sort of controlled possession today. Playing pretty deep and looking to break. Wright goes up the line. Here's Rowan Pitt against his old club. Eli Wright. Pitt again. And Lutmer spreading it across the back four. Knights do a lot of running early on in this one. And Knights happy not to press the centre-backs They're in quite a low block here. Two clear banks of 4. Defensive, classic defensive shape. Mohamed's dropping all the way back to track Eli Wright's run. Schwartz kind of wanting a shorter run. And again, it's very congested in there, so they'll just hold on to it. Again, being 1-0 up, you're probably happy to take just spreading it around. As Chirikankas comes out to shield off. Badger dropping short. Preble will try to... He was trying to release Hussein, but again, they've got the wind at their backs a little bit, Glenorchy. Those sorts of long balls are going to be very hard to execute. One of those ones I think when you're playing, you think, oh, it's great, we've got the wind, and then any sort of through ball be snaffled up by the keeper if you're not careful. Can be at times easier playing into the wind as that ball has a little bit of backspin on it. Divin well off his line. You want to have that goal scoring opportunity back. Knight's keeper. Again, I don't think he was fully sighted by it. It was a nice shot low and to his left. It falls to Mees and he puts it away. A nice little poke through from Bradley Lakaseljic. A little error there. Rebound from the Knights. It just falls to Noah Mees and he takes it with aplomb, banging it into the bottom corner. That's 2-0 for Kingborough. And the Knights have been doing a lot of defensive work and just let themselves down a little bit on that occasion. You can't leave Noah Mees in space. He'll just truck that into the back of the net. Fancy little flick through. A little bit of creative energy there from Lakaseljic. Kingborough off to the races at Lightwood Park. 2 goals to the good. And it's been a battle for Knights to really have much possession at all. They'll have their tails up. Kingborough Lions now. As the left side gets pulled up by far side linesman. Glenorchy, for all their defensive organisation, just overcommitted a little bit on that Lakaseljic touch. It was a piece of magic, though. It caught me off guard, you might have noticed, but it just found its way through to Noah Mees, who trucked that one away. Can Knights answer immediately back? It's a decent ball in. It's away by Eli Lutmer, also against his old club. Couple of Vuvuzelas on the heel, looking like they're handled by the Kingborough juniors. Are really starting to fire now. Getting a little bit excited over there. John Fennick will be pretty happy with how Kingborough have started today. Had a few moments where they've gotten a little bit more direct than they've wanted to go. They've been controlling possession really nicely. Here's Beyond. Shane's ball. Like a Celtic with a one-touch pass back to his keeper. Well controlled by O'Connell as well. And you have to talk about those 2 players coming across this season. And that long ball will be tracked down by George. Away by Divin. It's a pretty young back 4 for the Knights. Obviously, Matt Burkic has been around for a little while. Probably the only real remaining player from that title-winning side, alongside Riley Dillon for Glenorchy. And that's what you sort of have to take into account with these recent performances. How much experience do they actually have in this Knights side? how can they compete against a team like Kingborough, players like Eli Lutmer in the prime of their career and have played a lot of football at this level, like a Seljuk as well. Looking for the 1-2 from Noah Mees. Nicely played out from Glenorchy. Again, they just spurning the players going to feet and go long, and Eli Lutmer, that's his bread and butter. He'll nod those headers back all day if you give them to him. Sort of see, I think Walpole had made a good run forward, and maybe Dylan as well had shown his feet, and both got looked off. Both were a little bit upset by it too. This might be the difference in Kingborough's play this season. It's being able to play a little bit more controlled tempo, let's say, through Beyong. He'll try and poke it up the line. Interesting area he's put it in, and they'll win a throw in. Beyong with Dylan for company. Dylan with a good body, but Beyong manages to keep his feet. Dura makes a good challenge though. Hussein gets bodied off it by Eli Lutmer. I think even the inclusion of O'Connell, who is so good with his feet, and Nasa Kawano, no slouch either, who was their keeper the last couple of seasons. Does love to get on the ball and able to set things up as Badger, it's a bit of a falcon ricochet. Just kick the ball into his own face, unfortunately. Walpole, look for Chegankas. From Toronto, Canada this season. Missing those veterans from that title-winning season. It'd be interesting as a coach's perspective, I guess, James Sherman, what his sort of goals are this season. Are they looking to do anything differently with this run of results? Badger, nice curling ball from Mees. Touch has been a little bit off, apart from the goal today. Like a Seljuk's touch hasn't been off, and that's a splitting ball. And as they give him big raps, he'll rocket it out for a goal kick. I think like Seljuk just struggling a little bit for game time at South the last few seasons. Often used as a sub over in that rotation with Berezanski. He really pushed on to be in that team of the year last season. And not to say that like a Seljuk was ever, his performances were ever lacking, but he's found himself often the odd man out in that midfield rotation, especially when Morton was sort of dropping back into the midfield position. I think at Lions, he's really going to have time, play full 90s every week. That splitting ball comes through again. Tracked down by Eli Wright. And he's so versatile. I know he sort of came through as a bit of a striker, but obviously wants that preferred position in that midfield three. And Bakat Beyong has really impressed as well, sort of setting up in a bit of a double pivot through there, but like a Seljuk able to push forward a little bit more. Ball gets played back for Diven. Ricocheted out. A little bit dangerous. Good pressing there from Badger. And out of play. And Knights just missing that sharpness. They probably need to get back into this game. As Vidura has a lot of blue and black shirts for company. Well done to retain possession. George's ball skewed away. Finds his centre back in Preble. His ball's a little bit under hit, but we'll find Chigankas. Walpole sort of just tucked inside. I wonder if he's just swapped positions with Chigankas. As Dylan dropping deep, he'll pick the ball up. Nice ball out wide. Burkic driving forward. Chips the ball back up to the top. Chigankas and Tebeje coming across, making a nice block, doing his defensive duties there. Can Knights fashion an opportunity? Does get blocked off. George is pressed up quite high here. Not many players back for Glenorchy. Tebeje almost pokes it through. Well covered by Thomas Walpole. He'll track it down with a nice first touch as well. Hussein out wide. Got to Chigankas. Step overs. Again, too many blue and black shirts for company. Biong will play it forward. Big sliding challenge from Vidura. No harm made though. And Matt Burkic, Riley Dillon, the veterans of this team. Vidura has a nice pass out wide. Chigankas again. He'll bring it down. Cuts inside on that left foot. Curls it in. And away again. Go Kingborough. Meese gets around Preble. Doesn't have any company. Can he go himself here? Goes into the corner. And it will be a throw-in. Didn't have much support there, so he's done pretty well to keep possession. Solomon Tebeje just a little bit proppy coming up out of that defensive challenge. I think he looks like he wants to walk it off. As Chigankas gets a foot in and it's bodied off it late. Fair enough. That's a free kick. Sun has come out, making it a little bit nicer for the spectators, but for the players, can create a little bit of havoc on some of these longer balls forward, particularly from Glenorchy's end. As George can't track down that long switching pass. And it seems like a team that just hasn't quite got the chemistry at the moment, Glenorchy. Definitely got some talented players. It's not quite on the same wavelength, whereas Kingborough looking like a well-oiled machine at the moment. Just going through the gears. Here's Eli Wright. Looking back inside. Doesn't have anyone to go to, so we'll just turn back up the line. Drops it off for Pitt. Cross-in is nodded away. Here's Pitt again. Nice feet. Got a little bit of space, but stand it up this time and easily taken in the wind by the Glenorchy keeper. George. Switch across to Ezekiel Preble. Up the line for Chigankas. Harried off it by McShane. Nice foot in. He's got space now. The Lions fullback cuts inside on that right foot. Tebeje with a little step over, gets through. Badger almost dropped it off for Rowan Pitt. Shane's ball is cut out by Burkic. And Glenorchy will get the throw in here. You can hear some of the Kingborough players quite surprised by that decision, but it is overturned. We sorted it out in the end. There's communication from the refereeing team there. No complaints from Glenorchy. Lutmer now. And he's had a lot of space. Schwartz and Lutmer in this first half. Definite plan. Just let them have the ball, and this is where Glenorchy are going to put the pressure on instead. Wright's ball hangs up a little bit, might be a little bit challenging for Tebeje. It's away by Walpole and Preble. Hussein wanting a free kick, doesn't get one. De Jong's ball for McShane. Didn't have too many options, so we'll just switch it back. And now Glenorchy will just press a little bit on the switch here. George's tackle's a great one. Vidura taking a little bit too long with it in that position, and now Lions have numbers here. It's a 4-on-4. Seljuk cuts it back. Badger! And away by Diven. Nicely set up. Almost got in each other's way. Just maybe a tad there. Kingborough. Dylan with no space. Beyong all over the back of him, but does infringe. Kingborough will take that, slowing down the Glenorchy counterattacks. They can do that today. I think they'll be fairly well set up defensively. George plays that long ball up. Hussein, who's moved into the middle now, so Chigankas has come out onto this right-hand side. Dylan playing kind of as an out-and-out 10 now. So another little switch of shape as another foul. A high boot coming through on Brad Seljuk. Putman will take a nice easy pass and Lions will just retain possession again. Now Knights try and pressure Eli Lutmer, but they've got the open side on the near side to the camera. Nice touch from McShane. Goes for a run. Finds Mees, goes for the 1-2. Maybe infringed late there. Referee says nothing happening. Shane coming up to take the throw. See the corner flag sort of blowing towards the Kingborough blocks now. It's Beyong just got the ball stuck under his foot. And Chigangas tries to release Hussein again. These long balls from Glenorchy pretty easily fielded, particularly by Eli Lutmer. His ball's a nice spreading pass. Walpole sat back in and takes it away. Chigankas will go back to Walpole. And Vidura turns his man, and now Glenorchy are out here. They spread a nice wide ball for Manage. And again, Wright, been fantastic with his drive down that right-hand side. Ball not so good though, a little bit short as both players were running away from him. And Walpole has had a lot of defensive work to do today. He'll finally be able to try and go on an overlapping run. Chigankas will stand it up and running that left foot. Well done by McShane to take the angle away. Beget's got a bit of space in behind here. They don't want to release him. Nice forward pass. And Burkic has his body in front of Rowan Pitt. Now we're both at the club at the same time. Rowan, obviously a young player a couple of seasons ago when he was at Knights coming through. He's got an absolutely fantastic goal to win a game late on. Might have even been against South Hobart a few years ago for them. Nodded down by Eli Lutmer. And as we approach half-time here, I think Lions will be very happy, one, with the scoreline, two, with the quality of possession they've had. Really been dominating the play. There might be a few little tweaks they can make. When they get in this position, it is a little bit harder for them. Diven will clear away for Glenorchy. Glenorchy have sort of been a little bit better in this last 10, with a few attacking movements. A little bit off it as Badger comes through with a nice clear shooting opportunity. Got his shot away and then it's taken out late, but I think since he got such a clear shot, they're not going to pay a penalty there, but he is staying down behind the play, but Glenorchy will try and counter straight away and Lutmer will head away. And the referee will stop play just to make sure Badger's okay. It's not a head injury, but he stayed down and does look like he's in a fair bit of pain. Again, it's going to be one of these ones where he takes the shot. Eli Lutmer having a few words to the referee. He had a nice clear shot and then was bundled over. As Badger will just get a bit of physio treatment. The magic spray will come out. Looks like he's going to get a hand up. And we'll limp off. And half-time, not too far away here at the Den. I think James Sherman will have a little bit of a tweak of a game plan. Being very direct on the counter today, Glenorchy. Defensive shape has been largely good apart from the second goal. They've been able to crowd out the Lions around the box. Maybe there's just a little bit of tightening up they can do in playing out through the middle. And they've been able to get that clean ball. They've been able to put under a little bit of pressure. I think the other thing is just avoiding Eli Lutmer on the long ball. Just reads the play so well. And since the striker's not really pressing him so high, he's got time to kind of find good positions. And they move this time as Dylan does keep that ball off Eli Lutmer. Vidura gets clipped on the way out, and that's definitely a foul there. George will poke it back for Tom Diven. Preble. Checking a nice quick feed inside. Don't really have any forward options here, and the press from Kingborough is pretty intense. You can see they're making a real effort to win that ball back up high, and they do as Pitt. It's a nice floated ball in. And Diven has been very comfortable under those high balls today. Walpole will drive forward. Clothier's ball doesn't find its intended target. Biong had made a little run forward and almost finds a bit of space out there, but runs it out instead. Lagos Vidura will run it through. Matt Burkic barnstorming down that left-hand side. Mamic speared into Hussain. Powerful shot into the top corner. Turned his man and absolutely banged it in there. It's a powerful goal. And Knights, on the stroke of half-time, might be right back in this one. Nice hard low ball for the assist by Anthony Mamic too. Cleared his feet well. Just found the good angle on that right foot. And that's a clinical finish I've ever seen one. Absolutely rifled into that top corner. O'Connell, no chance on that one. And we're back to 2-1 here at the Den. So those little moments, maybe the foot just come off the gas pedal a little bit for Lions in this last 5 or 10 minutes. And Glenorchy, I'll be happy to have pulled one back here. Starting to get a bit more territory as well. Here's Hussain, the goal scorer. He's got a bit of space too. Goes on to his left this time. This time the defensive midfielders able to crowd him out. Nice counter press from Knights here. Up his Clothier. Vidura. Badger running through, and that's a sliding challenge. And that will be the first slice of cheese of this afternoon, with Tom Walpole without too many complaints there. As a defender, happy to take a slow professional foul does make you have to be a little bit more wary for the second half of this game. Here's Chigankas. Hussein. The pressure's coming out from Knights now. High press is starting to happen a bit more for them. As Vidura thought he got there first, but gets a yellow card for it. And took out to Beget, who's in a bit of pain as well. Referee right there for the second slice of cheese. Andres Lagos Fedura will go into the book. There's Alfonso Giusti getting into the game here. And just another factor for Knights to have to manage throughout the rest of this game. Biong. Nice turn, but didn't have any teammates. Wins it back straight away. Pokes it over the top to Beget with a nice run. George sweeping across and thumping it up the line. Hussein finds Dylan. And that left foot trying to spread the play. They're a little bit narrow here, Knights, but it's a good run forward from Burkic. Mamic goes back inside and just looked off his left back there. And that will be half-time here at Lightwood Park. It's been an entertaining first half of football, living up to the match of the round so far. It will be 2-1 to Kingborough. Khan Hussein with a late banger of a goal to put Knights back in the game. It's 2-1 the score. Both coaches will have a little bit to work on at half-time. Kingborough obviously dominating most of the play and the possession, and would have been very happy until that goal went in. Just the little goal has given James Sherman's Chargers a bit of a sniff in this second half. So it's all to play for here, and I hope you join us for it. And we'll be back here just in a few moments.
We've made some new hires. Ooh.
Introducing Macca's Korean Barbecue Dunk Range.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
Welcome back to Lightwood Park for round 6 of the NPL, with the second half of Glenorchy versus Kingborough just about to get underway. A fascinating first half, all things told, with the Lions 2 goals to 1 up. Glenorchy just finding their way back into the contest with a late goal. And they'll get us back underway with a long ball up the line. Namich and Burkich were up there, but didn't want to press it. And Lutmer will clear away. Well won by Preble. Clothier just bringing it down. And now Knights will start to try to control things a little bit. They've definitely not had the run of the play so far, but the last 5 or 10 minutes of that second half, they were starting to press a high and starting to put a bit more pressure on the Lions. Here's another opportunity for them. Will get cleared away as Tebeje runs it up. And Walpole with a good body getting that free kick. Walpole playing in a fullback position at the moment. Came through as more of a winger. Nicely done by Dylan. Gets clipped on the way out. Long ball. Mamich is offside though. The flag has gone up. No one's realised. And Glenorchy will want to take it back for a free kick. Referee played advantage. And he will actually do that. So advantage not paid. Wasn't quite enough time, which I think is fair enough. Riley Dillon did get chopped out. Well refereed by Alfonso. He's always a good communicator in there. Not playing at his level anymore, but anytime I've come across him on the park, always found him to be good at that in that regard. As that long ball straight down the throat of O'Connell. He's been under the pump, like in some ways, with some of these shots from Glenorchy. Hussain's goal was one of the better goals you'll see. I think that'll be I reckon I might win goal of the week, depending on what's happening in other games, barring any Nick Morton bicycle kicks. That will be one of the better ones you'll see. As Tebeje bustles his way through. He'll take it from a fair way out. Probably had a bit more space to run into and float it over the bar. This wind is picking up a little bit in the second half, and it's a bit more of a cross breeze blowing towards the city now. Long ball from George. Right, gets a call and leaves it alone. Well dealt with by the boys at the back for the Lions. Switched out to the far side. Probably a little bit more play down that side in the first half. There's Chigankas just makes a little mistake on that one. Knights will try to play out. They will get there. George, nice foot in. He's coming across now. Getting his head up and didn't have anything ahead of him. Badger trying to press. Poked forward. Nice ball through. Dylan turns the corner well. And Pitt, a nice bit of defensive work back there. You can see Glenorchy making a bit more of an effort to press a little bit higher. Not just letting Lutmer and Schwartz have all of the play. There's Vidura with a good press. He's got space, tries to play Dylan in, and that big clearance comes through. That'll stay in and elude Burkich. George again covering well. Nice little turn up the line. Plays it inside. Clothier. Chipped up the line and just broke the ankles of his centre back. Kingborough throw. And that ball will come in for Beyong. Switch it out to Tebeje. Pitt. Tebeje with a powerful shot. Divin does get down low this time. And covered well by George to clear. Similar to that first goal for Kingborough. This time Diven down nice and quickly. Going to his other side this time. Mees. Goes on that left foot. Blocked away. And just cleared away by Diven. I think they did need to release the pressure there, Glenorchy. Been under the pump this game so far, but they're still hanging with Kingborough for now. Ball comes up the line from Walpole. Made by Schwartz. Badger tries to turn down the line. Walpole again. See one back by Badger. A bit of a battle there with Chigankas. Will come up. Schwartz has to win it. Brings it down. Badger with a sliced clearance. And Justy, referee, has picked up a foul. Much to the chagrin of Bayat Biong. Very shocked with that. Riley Dillon will set up for Glenorchy. Mr. Bechet is going to be lucky to not get a yellow card here if he takes any longer to get back. Just he's got the shaving foam out. He's got the line where they should be. He's got the Walpole option wide if he wants it. Dillon will try and set this one up. Here's George with a free run at it. Clothier almost with a spectacular bicycle kick on the follow-up. And Dillon's head out wide. Will not be tracked down. Ricochet. It's a bit of a tricky one as O'Connell sends that one over into the other side of Lightwood Park, the ex-baseball field and junior ground. That lovely new stand. Hit. Turns the ball over. Puts Mees through. He's got Biong. Biong! Big save by Diven. Pitt nods it up high to Vijay. Gets through. Wants a foul. Doesn't get one. And fielded by Lutmer. Tom Diven coming up big in this second half for Glenorchy between the sticks. I think maybe have wanted that first one back for Glenorchy in that goal that Solomon Tebeje scored. He was just a little bit slow down to his right-hand side. This time he's been storming out and making a nice block on the Biong shot. As Birkic is released. Right, with a foot in, he'll try and save it. He does. Stays in. Here's Dillon. George. He's got the switch on. Gives enough beans to get over there in this wind. Walpole. Tebeje, can he counter-attack for the Lions? Goes direct. Still running. Mees. Badger. On the outside of the boot. And well saved by Diven. See, he wanted that right foot but didn't have space to cut back. Actually hit it quite well in the end. Didn't have a good angle. Diven comfortably saves in front of his face. Right where you want it. Just comfortable catching height. Here's Eli Wright. Noah Mees. Bounces it back. Ball doesn't get through Walpole. Badger. George with a massive tackle. Nicely done. Didn't have time to get his head up though. Pitt will steal it back. That's where Lions have been good today on that counter pressing. Definitely a point of emphasis. Badger. Teberget in space. And right. Looks for me, he's in the channel. Gets there first, but George has been right on the tail of the big Kingborough number 9. And right will toddle up and take this throw in. Game's evenly poised at the moment. 3-1, and I think Kingborough will feel much more comfortable. It's a good cross in from Lutmer. Like a Seljuk almost scoops it down, uses his body to retain possession. Badger with a nice 1-2 to Beget. Divens come, and he's saved well in the end. Into play. Working wonders there for the Lions. Come across, Diven comes and scoops it up. It's been active again. The big keeper for Glenorchy. George. It's really been the outlet for Glenorchy at the back. A young player by way of New Zealand. He's got Dylan's feet. Goes more direct than that. Schwartz little header back. Hussein's poaching it. Just had too many Lions shirts to deal with. Game's sort of opening up here. A little bit more end-to-end now. See, Knights aren't parking it back in that defensive structure anymore. They're taking it to Kingborough a bit more. And there they go. They force the error with a bit of pressing. It's starting to get quite cold here at Lightwood. Definitely get that shadow of the mountain feel down here. Like a Seljuk on the half turn. Kingborough will get out. Nicely played. McShane. Schwartz. Nice ball up to Beget. Badger shimmies well through the gap that he had to retain the ball. And Mamich will slide in there and grab it back for Glenorchy. Hussein's released. He's onside here. Cuts back inside and McShane in a good position. I think Hussein thought he was there. Like a Seljuk doesn't have much time to release this through ball. Burkic will make a nice little cushioned header. One back by Badger. Very mucky sort of football now. Lots of turnovers, lots of pressing. Here's Riley Dillon. Can he cut it open? McShane. He'll send it forward. Beong. Nice feet from Beong. Spins back, hits it on the left foot. It's good contact, but not the required direction. Beong hasn't had the space or time that he had in that first half. He was very much directing traffic in the first. Still been dangerous in the second. The Knights have tightened it up a bit. He's right. Gets in the way of Lutmer a little bit, and Riley Dillon has some space. Look to put Hussein through again. O'Connell saves, and Mamich at the back post. Keeps it in, but can't follow up. It was a decent hit from Hussein. Pitt on the other end now. It's gone end to end. Badger. Well done by George. And those opportunities that Glenorchy are creating higher up the pitch now, it's giving their forwards something to work with. But it is a more open game, so by the same token, Kingborough come right back down the other end and have a shotter of their own. least put pressure on the Glenorchy Knights defence, I should say. George making the challenge. Seljic is going to have the wind to contend with. It's a long ball, Lutmer's up. And probably just infringed on Burkic, used his body well. And had the big centre-back jumping over him there. And I think Burkic is just shaking it off. I think for a second they wanted treatment to come on. Treatment team. He's making his way over to the near side. Preble will go long and direct. Probably almost in hope of more the counter press in this opportunity so that Knights can start pressuring Lions' defence. Walpole wins a header. Mees looking for the long switch. Burkic in the way. Mees messing up the passing just a little bit here. Kingborough. Don't know if it's the sort of changed attitude of Glenorchy. It's making it harder for the Lions, or whether they've just gone off the boil a little bit in the second. It's just not quite as clean as it was in the first. They were really playing some lovely possession football. It seems like both teams, also through the defensive pressure more than anything, making it a little bit difficult to get that sustained, controlled possession. As Vidura tries to turn the corner and gets chopped down. Will be a free kick. Zeke Preble will come up and take this one. This ball into Walpole, who's tucked inside. Vidura. Clothier. Nicely retained. So Knights trying to hold a bit of possession. George's ball is a piercing low ball. I think Schwartz copped the Falcon. Needed to be made in the end, that interception. That was a piercing through pass. George showing that array of skill that he has. They don't elect for the switch, and instead they look for that direct ball again and again. O'Connell, he loves that sort of thing. Either just taking it with his feet or out to grab. Wants to be active off his line. Right, into the chest of Mees. The wind creating a bit of chaos on these longer passing sequences too. Clothier tries to turn the corner. Can't do it. Biong. There's Mees. Almost releases to Biget. Does win it in the end. Pitt. He'll want his right foot. Cuts inside. George again, who's been absolutely everywhere for Glenorchy in the defensive half. And that will be pulled back for a flag. Offside. It might have been Badger who just strained off, straight offside. Probably also strained offside. Schwartz's ball. It's a little bit of ping pong here for both teams. And a lot of fouling happening. The game's just getting a little bit physical. And the referee thought he was going to reach for his cards there. Biong maybe just getting off. Last warning, obviously. Challenge out on the near side. He's right. Biong has time. He'll try and release to Berger. Oh, it's almost a 50-50 sort of ball. Found an interesting little channel there to Berger in between three defenders. It almost worked out. Lutmer goes long. And nicely defended by Walpole. Really smart play. Just a nod back to Tom Diven in the goals. Glenorchy will try and rock forward here. Raking pass. Almost finds Burkic, who'd made it a good overlapping run. Wright goes forward. Burkic working very hard back. Wright will just say, I'll take the possession instead. They can't attack quickly. Burkic out to press well. Schwartz will spread it wide. McShane. O'Connell. Looking for that long pass. Badger used his body and referee judges that is a free kick to Glenorchy. I think in this wind, the longer sort of passing that's dominating in the second half is making it very challenging. And, you know, by the same token, that could create a bit of chaos for the defences. They're dealing with it pretty well so far. And then again, get mistakes like that when the ball's on the ground. Maybe doesn't incentivise your centre-back to play the shorter pass. Gigankas just making a bit of a fumble, and he'll also get fouled on the way out. That one looked a bit strong, and that will be a yellow card. Biong for repeated fouling there. Just looking to the benches of both teams. There's a lot of younger players. I don't think either coach will be wanting to change it up too soon. Owen Vidal, I think that's Owen Vidal over there who's getting stripped off for Kingborough. Might be the change, but normally a fullback sort of player. Dylan will take the free kick. It's a decent looking ball. O'Connell has to just tip it over. I'll get a corner. So with that wind, a little bit challenging. I think he got a little bit undone in that howling wind last weekend. Zebra's taking full advantage in that second half to get over the line in that one. They have been much improved in this second half. Really the tail end of the first is Gigankas. It's his left foot, takes it and skews away. And the juniors on the hill very happy to blow their vuvuzelas for that one. Interesting to see where some of these newer players for Glenorchy sort of fit in. Gigankas from Toronto, Canada, if the Facebook post is correct, which I'm sure it is. It can be a little bit of a interesting sort of field, the import scene in the NPL, as Biong tries to release Pitt. He's in a foot race with Preble. He wins it. Sets up Mees. Looks for the 1-2. It's Badger through. It's a lovely goal from the Kingborough Lions. Set up well by Pitt and Mees and finished off by Joel Badger. Cleanly taken and just put it bottom corner. And 3-1 to the Lions. They were able to get a bit of space for the first time in this second half. And chances don't come much easier to finish there. Nice bit of play. Thought Mees could have almost turned and shot himself, and maybe that's what the defence were looking for. Have to cover off that first threat. The run through from Badger was a powerful one. And they'll restore their lead to 2 goals here. Glenorchy had worked hard to get themselves back in the game. Can they do it again? Yankas goes to Walpole. They can answer straight back here, Glenorchy. I think they'll feel like they'll have a shot. The longer it goes on, the more comfortable Kingborough will feel. Cross does come low. Lutmer had to deal with a tricky half volley. Divin wanting the ball to release a little bit faster. Burkic was in an acre out here on this near side. George just not wanting to play it. Back into the centre area instead. Clothier. Ball comes back. Preble. Clothier again. Preble has the long switch. Tries for it. Tebeje was alert to the threat though. Right, again, he's just so crafty. Sometimes, I wouldn't say wasted at fullback, but gets out of trouble quite easily at times. As Dylan will pick up the scraps, he'll cut inside and hit a nice, powerful shot. Pretty comfortable in the end for Nick O'Connell. Sat down to his left. First real shot for Riley Dillon today. Been playing a slightly different role. Been rotating a little bit through all front three positions. Glenorchy. Dillon playing through the middle at the moment. Here goes Pitt. Mees. Shapes to shoot. Can he release Badger again? And they're wanting an offside call. Doesn't get the linesman excited enough to put his flag up. And Badger with a clean shot through there. I was almost distracted by the potential offside there, but another little poke through from Mees. I think on that occasion, maybe he should have taken it himself. That's always something you'll say in hindsight. On the other occasion on the goal, he set it up beautifully for one of the easiest goals you'll see. Looks like Glenorchy just about to make a change. It's slow going over here as Bradley Lakaseljic's just getting seen to behind play from the Kingborough trainer as well. So they probably won't make it at this corner. Coaches tend to not want to do that for good reason. And Bradley Lakaseljic instead will just come off. I don't know if that's going to be a forced sub. Maybe. Looks like he's holding his hip there and just walking around a little bit gingerly. He won't take the corner either. Will be beyond. Rasping ball in. Divin comes and punches. Tebeje with an air swing and Badger with a scissor kick. Ultimately, no threat. Well dealt with by the tall Glenorchy Knights keeper. Kingborough looking to make their own subs now, as well as two others warming up. And this shake things up for either team. I think for Lions, they don't really want things to be shaken up. Just keep that energy high. Like a Selgic, yeah, definitely troubled at the moment. He's doing what he can to stay in the game and just make a big clearance. Definitely not moving the way that you'd normally see him. That ball flipped up the line and out of play. And they will make the subs, and I'll let you know who's coming on and off as we can sort of see the numbers over this side. So it's like Henry Bain for Glenorchy. Young sort of utility player, often playing on over on the wing. Yeah, looks like he might be slotting into the midfield. As Owen Vidal coming on into that right back position. And Eli Wright moving up forward now. So Fenwick making an interesting tactical change. And like I said, also coming off with Joshua Z-Man. Which is a great name for a commentator to say. He'll be coming into that midfield spot alongside Beyong in the double pivot for Kingborough. Badger with a good press. Bain's first involvement isn't his best effort, and Badger will run away. Byong's made a nice overlapping run. He'll take it first time. It's a good low save from Diven. Scuffed a little bit by Byong, but made the angle almost better for shooting there. Burkic try and sort things out for Glenorchy. A little bit of a mess in this right forward pocket. Here's Z-Man. It's his first touch. It's again, the pressure's high. Substitutions will have to adapt. That's a big shirt pull, and that will be paid advantage and probably brought back for a yellow card. As Mamich was trying to streak forward there. Glenorchy will keep the attacking move going though. Ball into Dylan's feet. Sweeps it up the line. Walpole. And out of play for a goal kick. Referee doesn't pull it back for that shirt pull. And there's Eamon Will having just come on. Not have to eat a slice of cheese. He'll get the ball here though. Vidal. He's also just come on. And Lutmer's thumped that one straight into the face of Oliver Hugo, who's also come on for the Knights. Byong sends it into the pocket again. And George, calmly done, looks off both Lions players. Making sure he couldn't go back to his keeper, but he said, okay, I'll just go down the line instead. Vidal, he'll bring it up. He's right. He's moved a bit further forward since Vidal's come on. Lutmer. Schwartz. Finding it a little bit harder to play out the Lions. And like a subject coming off, it doesn't help that. This forward interplay has been spectacular when they've got it right today, Kingborough. Badger running his way through, wanting a foul, doesn't get one. Kingborough fans upset with that one. Instead, Chigankas will streak through the middle. Bain. Calmly done. Here's George. Ball through. Doesn't get held up. And will trickle out of play. We'll keep you running out of time to pull one back here. They need 2 goals. And more time that Kingborough can take out of the game. Let's see O'Connell. He's not rushing. He's not being too slow either. They'll be feeling even better out this one. Chigankas goes again. And O'Connell well out. Schwartz. Z-Man, he's got some space. Goes wide to right. Right on the left foot. A good shot. Powerful shot. Not enough direction. Well saved by Tom Diven. Counter-attacks on for Glenorchy. Doesn't quite get there. Glenorchy do manage to get it back. Do they win a corner? They do. Hugo making a positive impact. Riley Dillon over it this time. High ball. O'Connell comes and takes it pretty comfortably in the end. Doesn't have anyone to release to straight away, so he'll just hold it up for a moment. Nice play out. McShane. Tebeje. Down the line for Badger. And out of play, ultimately just for another Kingborough throw. Almost start talking about what might be next for these clubs if the result stays the same. Won't get there just yet as McShane plays it into Badger. Tebeje with a nice flick through. Badger again, pushing down the line. He's took a tumble in the box. And we'll go out for a corner. And I'll just hold it up. A few players feeling potentially a bit of cramp. Burkic definitely stretching that out. And another sub for Kingborough. Will come on. Looks like just a little centre back change there. At least initially it'll be that, and it comes out and punched away by Diven. Z-Man goes through, does get fouled in a promising position. It's pulled up, and there'll be a few people wanting to stand over this one for Kingborough. Confirm Peter Ravitsai coming on. Looks like Schwartz who... No, Schwartz is still on. I'll just confirm who's gone off. Might have been Joel Badger. Free kick not taken that well. Schwartz. Eli Wright. Vidal heads across. Ravidasai. Ball is long and picked out by Burkic. I think Schwartz has actually just stepped up in front of the back four here. So maybe just looking to shut up shop is John Fennick in the Kingborough dugout. Low ball. Bain gets it away. There's Schwartz. Up to Lutmer. Right again. By Preble. He gets held back and obvious foul picked up by the referee. So we're moving towards the last 5 minutes of the game. From here, it'll be very unlikely to see Glenorchy come back with this amount of time remaining. You never know. For Kingborough, this will be a big win just to settle them into where they want to be this season. Teberge comes through. Had a much sterner test in the second half. First, they were able to just get away a little bit. Z-Man tries to run through a few Glenorchy legs and manages to win the ball back off Walpole. Ravitasai. Calmly done. Schwartz really relishing his slightly more advanced role. His brother Otto, quite the accomplished midfielder. Always love to see his weaving runs through the middle for Kingborough. Teberge, 1-2. Badger will chase it down. It's getting a little bit more spread for Glenorchy. Z-Man gets fouled. And another decent looking opportunity here. You can just see the sting's gone out of the game a little bit. A few tired legs for the Knights. And Kingborough just able to get back on top and move back to where they were keeping that ball, putting the pressure on Glenorchy. So we'll leave Glenorchy stranded down the bottom on 3 points. It'll be a little bit disappointing for them. Just to probably had some slightly bigger hopes this season. I'm sure they will get there as that ball comes in and Wright almost puts it through. They're going to have to get going quickly, Glenorchy. And that's exactly what the Lions would have liked, just to keep it back in the middle there. Divin goes nice and long. Gigankas jumps. And does manage to win a throw-in. And not knowing other results this weekend, so we'll just keep Kingborough just in touch with the leading pack, and probably more so with Launceston City. That might be where they're aiming to see who can win that third position for now. Hugo strikes it. Had Burkic in an acre of space, and you can see how disappointed he is not to get all that hard running he's done today. Hugo thumped it. Over the bar for Glenorchy. They'll make amends though. As final round of substitutions will be made for Kingborough. Again, over the opposite side to where we are, so once we... That's Hugh and Carius in the number 18. Again, once we get a clear shot of the back of the jersey, we'll let you know. And it is Carius who jumps for it. And Walpole's clearance a bit skewed out of play as the sun just starts to set down here at Lightwood. Often get the earlier sunset. Almost get a little bit of a golden hour going. Got the WSL game, Lions versus South Hobart after this one. It should be an interesting matchup. Be a bit of a classic sort of derby match in the south of the state between those two sides. A lot of shared players over the last couple of seasons. A bit of a rivalry built up in that competition. Please tune into that one if you've got a bit of time this afternoon. Will there be a twist in the tail for the Lions? Glenorchy trying to go forward here. Is Bain. Gigankas going forward again. Wants that left foot. Puts an interesting sort of ball in. Burkic nods back in. Hugo with a nice shot and chested out of play by Lutmer. Well blocked in the end. Sort of wrong-footed the keeper. And Lutmer in the right spot. And out of play. Thought for half a second that might have just ricocheted into the side netting. Well taken down by Oliver Hugo. almost looks a little bit like Eli Lutman. Got some similarities, the dark features going on. It's a long ball coming across. No one at the back stick. Mamich will collect. He'll set it back up to the top of the box. Bain tries to put it back forward for Mamich. This referee looks at the watch for the first time. There'll be quite a few of those in the next couple of moments. Glenorchy still pushing for something here. Can they bring it back to 3-2? Get a consolation for now. That's just eluding them. Glenorchy today started 6 points behind Clarence, Riverside and Kingborough. And another loss here. See them sort of cut adrift from that middle of the pack group. I know their supporters will probably be aiming for higher than that, given their semi-recent history in this competition and their resources at their disposal. Again, maybe just a slight rebuild kind of year for them. They've got a few sort of international players, but even the likes of George, who's been very impressive today, is very young. And here's Burkic, one of the veterans of the side. Try and go around right. It's been a good battle all day. Burkic will set him down with his physicality. Mamich will push his way through, and he gets bodied off it by Biong. That was maybe a little bit overly physical, but referee says nothing doing. Mamich just gingerly hopping back to try and pressure that ball. Here's Badger, one of the goal scorers for Kingborough today. Looking for a nice switch of play. Hit that ball beautifully. Carrius cuts inside. Manages to get it back. Swings back on the left foot and shoots. And it drops for Joel Badger. Sorry, Carrius in the end, I think, does get it back. One of them. In any case, Diven will calmly collect. Clothier. Sort of ticking it over in that Glenorchy midfield. There's a bit of Mearns about him. Maybe just needs to add that extra attacking sort of run that Nick Mearns had. Got that kind of twisting and turning, solid midfield play. Again, it's sort of how do they replace those sorts of players, Glenorchy? As interesting little spell of dribbling there from Joel Badger, sort of almost took himself out on top of the ball and then said, I'll hold it up in the corner. We'll go out for a goal kick, I think. Maybe a throw in for Kingborough. And really taking the time out of this game. I think they'll very much enjoy this one, the Kingborough Lions. Pretty comfortable most of the game, and that will be the final whistle. It'll be 3-1 in the end. The boys in the blue and the black over Glenorchy Knights. Scorers Noah Mees, Solomon Tebeje and Joel Badger. And for Glenorchy, they were able to pull one back through a really nice goal through Khan Hussein. They made it 2-1 for a large portion of this game, and it was closer than the final scoreline might suggest. In the end, Kingborough able to make that third goal happen and make it quite comfortable, and they'll sort of be able to keep the pressure on that top two of South Hobart and Devonport. As Glenorchy, it's back to the drawing board. What can they do to improve their season situation? It's been a great game to watch. Very competitive football all over the park. And I very much hope you've enjoyed it there at home. My name's Alex Mummery. Thank you so much for joining us on Football Tasmania TV. Stay tuned for the WSL game straight after this. If not, we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, yeah. Check 1, 2. Yeah, yeah. Check 1, 2.
Just talk to me. It's more natural. Yeah. Otherwise, it's staring at the soul of viewers at home.